Hello everyone, welcome to Crash Course. My name is Dr. Brian Aschenfelder, and sustainability is my business.
At Walmart, we invest in sustainability because our customers trust us.
Sustainability is one of our 5 core values.
Sustainability at Amazon is incorporated into every part of our business.
At AT&T, sustainability begins with the services we provide.
We are committing to help 1 billion people to live more sustainably by 2022.
Sustainability is a word that we're starting to see everywhere. Brands promise us their products are sustainable, companies set sustainability goals, and staff meetings have sustainability segments. But what does any of that mean? Today, we're talking about what sustainability is. What we can be sure of is that the term has become very popular. A Google search for sustainability returns more hits than both freedom and Jesus. In 2019, the word appeared in print more times than Star Wars, Donald Trump, Buddha, and even the internet. Today, sustainability is a widespread concept that nearly everyone supports, but at the same time, almost no one seems to understand what it means. In 2010, Advertising Age included sustainable in its list of the most jargoniest jargon, stating that its use and misuse had led it to become simply a feel-good catch-all. Sustainability as a concept is so broad and so overly used that it has somehow come to mean everything and simultaneously nothing. To that end, sustainability is not something that you can just memorize. It must be something that you seek to understand, because the only way people will begin to live and work more sustainably is for them to understand the most basic principles that define it. So let's talk about some of those principles. First, sustainability is culture. While sustainability has enjoyed a recent rise in popularity, in practice, the underlying ideals are old, very old. Starting as far back as the 15th century BC, Babylon was the cultural capital of the world. Known for its life of originality, capability, and creativity, it was home to buildings of splendid and environmentally sustainable designs. Babylonians were perhaps the first green architects, combining use of materials available locally in nature with the repurposing of used materials to construct the most beautiful and artistic buildings of the time. By the 1500s, the Aztecs of Mexico had built a society where wastefulness was not tolerated. During the rule of Montezuma, dumping of waste and littering in public spaces was prohibited and severely punished. In the Hawaiian Islands, traditional Hawaiian knowledge of the land is a model for modern sustainability. The first Hawaiians emphasized the importance of malama akaina, or taking care of the land. The system was built on the ethics that reflect the conservation of ecological balance and put utmost importance on the connection between the health of the land, the water, and the community because they sustain life. Native American and First Nation cultures also shared a common collective wisdom about their environment. The Iroquois Nation had written into their constitution that every decision made must consider its impact on the well-being of future generations. Nevertheless, this way of working with nature became challenged when white settlers invaded America. In contrast to the natives, the first groups of colonial settlers generally viewed land as something to be conquered and its natural resources as something to be harvested and sold. An ethos so deeply ingrained in the American zeitgeist that we continue to grapple with its consequences to this day. Second, sustainability is a modern myth. Throughout history, our deepest concerns about the land were expressed in culture through the language of mythology, and so our ideals about sustainability can really be seen as a modern myth, one that has emerged over the last few hundred years from an age of science, technology, and reason. And like the many myths before it that have helped define our understanding of our place in this world, it tells us that if we don't listen to its message, and if we fail to change our ways, then we will be the cause of our own destruction. This modern myth of sustainability carries with it a warning that is both environmental and ethical. We see these kinds of themes throughout the history of mythology. In Greek myth, Pandora's curiosity led her to open the box that released suffering and disease into an otherwise ideal world. Adam and Eve were expelled from the perfection of the Garden of Eden by exposing their human failings. And with sustainability, the myth points to our own destruction of nature and the steps we must take to regain our own innocence. Sustainability encourages conservation and preservation of the natural environment and asks us to pay attention to the effects and impacts. It implores us to reduce our energy use, our consumption of finite resources, our production of pollution, and to perhaps moderate our tendency towards human greed. We've always created and will continue to create myths that allow us to understand the world and our place in it. The point of these stories in the Greek myths, in the Bible, in the Bhagavad Gita, or any other wisdom tradition is not about achieving an end state as such. It's about asking us to take the task on of learning how to live in the world. It's the age-old question, how should we live? Third, sustainability is art and design. Sustainability should be seen as an art with form and function. It's not a moral sacrifice, political dilemma, or philanthropical cause. It invites us to design products, services, cities, sets, props, costumes, and anything else we might need to live, work, or play in ways that are more beautiful, more indulgent, more sensible, and more efficient. Sustainable design is an ethos that doesn't ask us to compromise. It challenges us to think about how we might minimize the negative impacts borne by our creations. At its core, sustainable design is about creating things that ultimately fit with the way we want to live our lives. But what does sustainable design look like? If we do it right, beautiful. In architecture, the past decade has seen a rise in the number of buildings designed for sustainability. Take, for example, the ambitious architectural and landscape design of Singapore's Gardens by the Bay, a nature park in Singapore's central city. It functions not only as a botanical attraction, but also showcases sustainable technology for energy and water throughout. No, it's not just the built world where we see this beauty. In 2017, costume designer Jacqueline Duran made headlines for incorporating sustainable design into the wardrobe for Disney's live-action Beauty and the Beast when star Emma Watson revealed on social media that the stunning wardrobe she wore as Belle, including that iconic red cape dress, were all created using vintage materials bought on eBay. Watson described the ensemble as a special ethical costume. Duran would receive Academy Award nominations for Best Achievement in Costume Design for the work. Last, sustainability is a business decision. Traditionally, the purpose of business has been only to increase profits, regardless of how it earned those profits. However, as we've seen in recent years, the focus on profits above all else has led to the destruction of natural resources and had devastating effects on people, especially the world's most vulnerable populations. Climate change, the financial collapse of 2008, sweatshops, and slave labor demonstrate how much can go wrong when the pursuit of profits take precedence over all else. But we can expand our definition so that there is not just one bottom line, the profit, but that there are two more, people and the planet. Sustainability won't just be all about culture, myth, and design. It's also about the doing of things that need to be done so that we can win the future. When our business decisions have a fearless accountability for the people and the planet we touch, we can't lose.